Hello, and welcome to episode 67 of my Let's Play Vanilla Minecraft. I am KHM, and as you can see, I have successfully finished building 4 of these auto brewery machines. And I've tested them out, they all work quite nicely. And because now, after having built them, I'm able to determine how much space I'm going to need to build the rest. I've gone ahead and built some scaffolding to show the amount of space that has been allocated to each of the brewers. Which is quite nice. So we can use this to figure out exactly where the floor is going to be. Or at least the lowest point at which it can be. Now if we come all the way up here to the very top, this is about where the floor is going to be. Or at least the lowest point at which it can be. I'm probably actually going to have it up a bit higher. I think I'll probably have it up about the same height as the rail there. That way everything kind of flows into it nicely. And we can get a nice view of above the rail maybe. I don't know. So I might actually have it higher than the rail. I haven't quite fully decided. But this is the lowest the floor could possibly be, because this will be the top of the machinery. The 4th level machinery. Yes. So, now that I've got 4 down, I've got, 12 more of those to build? Which, now that I'm kind of getting the feel for building them, won't be nearly as much of a headache as it was to build the originals. Whoops. Oh. That's another advantage of the scaffolding, is I can easily just kind of jump between levels without killing myself. Completely. Yes. So it's there to act as mobility, to show me where I need to build, and etc, etc. I can use it to line up where everything needs to go, which is all nice. And I suppose I should probably pause the recording until I have something more to show. Okay, so I'm over here at my ice farm. I didn't have enough ice for the project, so I went and collected some. And this isn't enough, so I was waiting here for this to refreeze so I can get some more. Now, I knew I was going to have to make some changes to the ice farm since version either 1.4 or 1.5, in which enchantments were changed, so that efficiency would only apply if the tool was the correct tool for the block. So you couldn't use an efficiency 4 shovel to break up ice. So I knew I was going to need to make changes because pickaxe is what's used for ice, and it's also used for stone, so I was going to have to change that out at some point. But I never needed more ice until now, so I was just going to kind of put it off until I needed to. Anyway, while sitting here, waiting for the ice to form, I've discovered that the rules for ice forming have changed yet again. Well, I say yet again, but I think this is actually the first time they've changed. Anyway. Let's not get sidetracked. The point is that ice apparently no longer forms here in the taiga biome at this Y level. Apparently, ice now only forms at a Y level where snow occurs, and taiga is not cold enough anymore for snow to just occur at this Y level. So, I'm gonna have to build a brand new ice tray. Yay! Get the ice required for this project. So, going to probably need to build it somewhere else. Now, I checked up there at my pool to see if that was at an appropriate Y level for ice to form, and it's apparently not. So, I don't know. I'm going to have to find some location where I can build this ice farm to farm this ice. So I'm gonna go looking around doing some experiments. I suppose mostly off camera. Alright, so I was expecting some grand epic journey here, in search of a place upon which to build a new ice tray. But then I realized right over here by the end portal is perfect. I have the rail line coming over here, so all I have to do is build either the ice tray over here or over there and just have the rail connecting to the ice tray and the end portal. It's a perfect spot for that. Yes. So I am going to complete this rail here going over here, and I am going to build the ice tray around here somewhere. And I'm thinking I'm going to go for a big ice tray this time. The little itty-bitty ice tray over at the house, that was alright, but I want something a bit beefier now. Something that can really supply me with ice. Although that did supply me enough ice to last for, what, 0.4 versions? Is that clicking? Is that you I'm hearing? Are you making some sort of weird clicking noise? Not clucking, clicking. Well, you aren't now, so I guess you can't really know. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rail line, and I guess I'll get started on the ice tray. Okay, so I've got the rail line here built to this point. I'll probably actually modify this to better meet up with the ice tray here, the ice farm, whatever. The ice thing. Yes. Which, as you can see, is currently just a big hole in the ground that I've dug out. Now, I'm just going to be going for a larger version of what I have back at the base, so I probably won't go into too many details about the wiring of this. But, as you can see, this is just going to be a much bigger version of it. This is going to be 64 by 64 blocks. Now, of course, it won't be solid 64 by 64 because I'll need to have blocks pop up to help form it over faster. But this is going to give me a lot of ice. And I'm going to make the ice tray part itself out of wood. That way I can swing around a pickaxe without worrying about accidentally breaking it. Oh, it looks like the sun's going down. Good timing for me. Yeah, so I guess I'll go ahead and work on this more off camera, and I'll be back once I have something more to show. Okay, so I've got the majority of it done, the majority of the redstone, and everything, as you can see here. Or actually, I guess you can't see it, but anyway. I've decided to, instead of going with long bars, to just have these blocks dispersed evenly throughout the whole contraption. And I have these blocks above it, both so that ice will never form here. And no, that's pretty much it. That's the only purpose these things serve, is to prevent ice from appearing here where those blocks are, because they won't stop spawns. Wish I'd come up with a way to stop spawns there, but I have not been able to think of one. Anyway, so I have the redstone all hooked up to these switches here. This switch is for refilling. As you can see, it lowers the things in the center and opens up the water areas so that water can flood in and fill up the place. And I flip that off, close that up. And this other one just lowers the center blocks so that I can get in there and start mining away. Now, I'm planning on making a bit more complex circuitry, but I need to know what the timing is of this before I do that. I need to know how much time it takes for the water to completely fill up the space in here before I can add a timer to this and have this be just a push button. So, plan is once I get that timing figured out and hooked up, I'll just push a button, it'll open up, everything will flood in, it'll automatically come back up, like I have in my other ice maker thing. Yes. And I'll have this additional switch here, so I can just lower those out to make mining ice a bit easier. Yes, yes, we can poke our heads down and look at the actual redstone. There's not a whole lot to it, really. Basically, all the pistons have a redstone torch going to them, so by default they're extended. So I have the switches here. This switch does both. This switch does only the center blocks, and as you can see, kind of goes like that to all the ones here, like that. Yes, you know, if we do that, you can sort of see the path it takes and everything. Not much to it, so I'm not going to explain that too much detail. The one for both, on the other hand, is a little bit more complex. We have a diode here to make sure that the signal can go from there over to those, but not the other way around. Redstone torch on this thing here. Now this is mostly so it can take this corner over here. Way over here. This corner, originally I was going to have a whole bunch of repeaters going to these blocks to cause the pistons to extend or retract. But then I got to this corner and that kind of stumped me. So I came up with this design here. And to keep the signal going, I have this here. So the redstone will get up to here. We'll power up this block here that's under it. We'll power up this repeater. We'll send a signal down this redstone. This redstone that kind of branches off will cause this block to be powered without risk of powering the redstone before it, so it doesn't create an infinite loop. And then to this one here, which will power this block that does have redstone on it to continue the signal. Fairly simple, fairly straightforward. Yes, and now let's go ahead and put some water in the trough. Okay, now that all the water is in place, I shall start the timer and time to see how long this takes. And the answer to that is way longer than I thought it would, but that is pretty cool. Nonetheless. And time. No, and now time. Oops. Okay, cool. And we're already starting to get some ice forming. Awesome. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and let this run, or sit for a while, figure out what the timings are, and update the circuitry. Okay, so I've figured out how long it takes for this thing to go. Well, actually, as you can see, it's completely frozen. And this thing actually froze over quite quickly. It, surprisingly enough, completely froze over, or at least nearly completely froze over. And the time it took me to figure out how long it took it to actually freeze over, which is 32 seconds. Yep, this thing freezes over approximately 32 seconds. And it completely froze over the rest of the way while I was working on the redstone here. Yes, I've basically got two things here. Got the switch for the things in the center to make it easier to harvest. And then a button that when pushed lowers everything for 32 seconds exactly. And then after those 32 seconds it will bring it back up. And yeah. Which is awesome. Of course that means that we have to wait 32 seconds. That was the halfway mark. By the way, I used a hopper timer for it. I found out something... Yeah, I found out something kind of interesting about hopper timers that I didn't actually know before. Ah, there it goes. Each item added to a hopper timer actually counts as like it gives it the exact same delay as a repeater set to the maximum setting, which is kind of cool. So one item is approximately 4 redstone ticks, and there's 10 redstone ticks in a second. Now this hopper timer is wired up so that it's kind of doubled, so I actually need one item for every 8 redstone ticks, which gives it exactly 40 items that it requires. And I should probably have them on sticks or something. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and harvest up all the ice, and then I'll show you guys the thing filling up the tray. Okay, so I've completely harvested all the ice, which is good. And look at how much ice I got from one harvesting. I got a large chest and almost a row of a chest. So that's a lot of ice. Let's flip this so that those go back up. And now let's test this out. Now, if calculations are all correct, about the time it's finishing up distributing the water, it should wow, that is cool looking. It should go up by the time, well, once this thing is full. And, oh. Ice formed a little too quickly. You might have to do something about that. Prevent that from happening in the future. But anyway, so it looks like the timer was perfect. Timing was perfect. And this thing will go pretty quickly. I'm tempted to just kind of sit here and watch this thing just ice over. Anyway, you can actually see the reason for having these blocks out there just randomly distributed. Ice forms quicker when it's adjacent to a solid block of some sort, or an ice block, adjacent to some sort of block. So having these just blocks randomly distributed, or I guess not randomly distributed, but distributed, causes the whole process to go faster, as that there are blocks adjacent to water for ice to form next to. Water will form into ice when it's not next to a block, but it's a much, much smaller chance of that happening than when it is adjacent to another block. Which is kind of interesting. But, I have no idea how long this episode has gone on for, so I think I'll probably end this here. So once again, I am KHM, and I just realized I went through 2, maybe 3 stacks of redstone blocks in the making of this, so I'm probably going to have to go mine some more redstone soon. Anyway, so, once again, I am KHM, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.